Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Robert Adams, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Captain Michel de Frisbon. This evening, we warmly welcome the President of the ACT Division of the Air Force Association, Group Captain Ernie Walsh, retired. As always, we welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of Kinross College, visiting from Kinross, Western Australia. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. For those who are able to do so, you may now be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations over more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Lieutenant Edgar Percy Everard McCleery. Edgar McCleery was born in 1893 in Mossvale, New South Wales. The son of James and Euphemia McCleery, he was the youngest boy in a family of 12 children. Having attended the local Mossvale public school, he went on to work as a postal assistant in Araluen. McCleery did not stay long in Araluen, however, returning to Mossvale before the outbreak of war to work as an engineer and manage his father's successful coach building business with his older brother John. McCleery enlisted for service on the 28th of August 1916 at the age of 22. He embarked from Australia in January 1917 aboard the troop ship Iran and arrived in England in March. McCleery was in England for about a month when he was transferred to the Australian Flying Corps. He spent 4 months training in England and qualified as a flying officer in July 1917. He was promoted to second lieutenant before spending several months training at the School of Aerial Gunnery. In March 1918, McCleery joined 4 Squadron, Australian Flying Corps, in France. He flew bombing and offensive patrols over northern France, targeting enemy lines and aircraft hangars. August presented the squadron with unfavourable weather positions, which made effective use of their Sopwith Camel aircraft difficult. On the 17th of August, McCleery's formation was tasked with bombing the German aerodrome near Lomme, southwest of Lille. Having successfully bombed its target, McCleery's formation began firing at enemy ground positions from under 200 feet. McCleery dived on the enemy's positions and was hit by machine gun fire, causing his plane to roll and crash behind enemy lines. The crash was such that his comrades held little doubt of the young pilot's fate. Lieutenant Edward McCleery was killed in action, aged just 24. His commanding officer, Captain McClory, wrote to McCleery's mother back in Mossvale. "Your son had joined the squadron some 4 or 5 weeks ago and had been in my flight from the beginning. He was always so bright and cheery and really was doing awfully well. Indeed, I had expected many great things from him. We had been miles over Hunland many times together, and I can honestly say I never wished to be with a better fellow." Edgar McCleery's remains were recovered from the battlefield and he was buried at Ration Farm Military Cemetery in northern France. His family in Australia continued to remember him, placing a notice in the Sydney Morning Herald in 1922. "Do not ask us if we miss him. There is such a vacant place. Can we ever forget his footsteps or his dear familiar face?" His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Lieutenant Edgar Percy Everard McCleery, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man laying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.